Hopefully everyone has been able to complete this warm-up. If not, then try your best to follow along and check and see if your solution matches up and where you made your error. So recall the steps to solving a multi-step equation. Recall we need to simplify each side separately before we can use inverse operations to move anything to the other side. So the way that I attack this is, remember, we're going to need to eliminate parentheses by using the distributive property. So I'm going to look for that, and I'm going to use my handy dandy highlighter to highlight where I'm going to need to complete that. So also watch your signs, my friends. You guys have got to watch your signs. That's always the same mistake all of you guys make. I don't know, highlight it, circle it, flag it, do whatever it is that you guys got to do to make sure that you watch those signs. All right, so those are my two parts I'm going to have to apply the distributive property. So I'm going to start with the yellow, and I'm going to choose my red pen. I'm going to draw my fence. I know you guys are all about that, huh? Okay. So let's start over on this side. So I'm going to distribute this -4 to n, and then -4 to -1, and I'm going to multiply. So -4 times +n, that's going to give me -4n. -4 times -1, that's a +4, because remember, a negative times a negative gives me a positive. Next, I'm going to use the distributive property on the other side, but just make sure you guys are careful that you guys are not getting lost in, the notation. Now, this is like gets you every time. That negative on the outside, that is actually I call it like that tricky -1, right? That negative, that's the same thing as times -1. So now I'm going to multiply -1 times n, and then -1 times 9. Essentially, you're just changing the sign. So that's going to give me -n or -1n. And then a negative times a positive is going to give me a -9. So now I have released myself from all the parentheses, and I'm just going to bring down the remaining parts of my equation that I did not work with. So I can see this -9n right here needs to be brought down, and this -9n on the other side needs to be brought down. So now I have eliminated those. So the next thing I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to use my CLT, combine like terms. And combine like terms means you're working on one side at a time. You are not going to move anything across that equal sign. So I'm going to identify my like terms. So I have a -9n and a -4n. And we're combining them, so we're going to add. We're called -9 and -4, same sign. You add them up, right? So it's going to give you 13, and keep it negative. It's like, I owe you 9 and I owe you 4. Now you better pay up. You owe me 13 bucks. So that's going to be a -13n. And then bring down 4 plus 4. Drop it down. Drop that equal sign down. Here I have a -1 and a -9. Same situation. You owe me $1, and then you also owe me another $9. So now you owe me 10. So that's going to be -10n. And then bring down that -9. So now the next step is I'm going to want to move all my variables to one side and then move all my constants to the other side. The order that you choose to do that does not matter. It's basically a chess move. You want to just use whatever is the best strategy. So I'm going to look at this, and I know somehow I'm going to end up maybe moving that -9 to the other side. So then that's going to be gone. So, and then I'll add that 13. So, you know what? I'll go ahead and I will add 13n to both sides first. And there's other ways you can do this as well, but that's the choice I made. Now that eliminates. I'm going to bring down that 4. -10 plus +13, right? I have $13 and I pay you 10. So now I have only $3 left in my pocket. bring down that negative 9. So now I need to make sure that I move all my numbers to the other side. So I want to move this negative 4 by using addition, plus 9. That cancels, and that gives me 13. So 13 equals 3n. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And I'm going to get n equals, so 13 divided by 3. So here's a little calculator fun. I'm old school, so I like to use my old school long division. You guys can just throw it into a calculator. I know 3 times 4 gives me 12. 3 times 4 gives me 12. Subtract that, I get 1. 3 doesn't go into 1, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 there. 3 goes into 10 3 times, and that's going to give me 9. That's going to give me 1. So that's going to end up being 4.33 repeating. And it's going to be positive 4.33 repeating. And that's my final answer.